everyone, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Just jumping right into it. We're going to be talking about trust today. And so, of course, as always, starting off with a definition. So if you're average in trust, the average individual, it says that you are more likely to be trusting than suspicious. You find it easy to get along with most people. When interacting with others, you are usually cheerful and adapt readily to them. Rarely do you suspect others of having ulterior motives, and you are relatively free of suspicion and jealousy. Many people are drawn to you because you are open, trusting, and convey that you are genuinely interested in them. You usually accept others as they are, and in turn are probably well accepted by them. In personal and career situations, it is your tendency to see others as trustworthy individuals and to assume that they will act in your best interest. Due to your constructive and supportive attitude, you make a good team member. It is not your style to be divisive or to become involved in factions that might disrupt group unity. You are able to communicate openly with most others and rarely become jealous. Your tolerance, understanding, and willingness to work through difficulties serves to enhance your value to the group. However, this trusting nature may occasionally lead to situations in which others attempt to take advantage of your trusting nature. You also run the risk of being hurt when your trust is betrayed. However, in most situations, your ideal level of trust should serve as an asset rather than a liability. So, of course, speaking of asset and liability, we go down to the section where it's going to give you a little more in depth. And so, it says that this trait is an asset because your trusting nature allows you to explore new experiences and expand relationships, which can provide increased growth and self-fulfillment. For your career, if you have an average or above average trust score, people who are trusting are usually also trustworthy. It is advantageous for organizations to employ individuals who can be trusted. Employees who relate to others in an open and honest manner help improve communications and minimize problems. Socially, people find you easy to interact with and will seek your companionship. They believe you can be trusted and will not betray their confidence. Furthermore, you are very understanding and ready to forget difficulties when they do occur. So, I think that this is something that is super difficult to do a self-analysis on. Because at this point in life, there's been one time or another where you feel like you've trusted the wrong person, either in a career sense or in friendships or in relationships. And so a lot of us would be like, oh no, I'm very hesitant. I'm very wary of the people that I trust. And so it's difficult to evaluate yourself. And I think that trust is kind of something that you have to look at objectively. And what I mean by that is from other people or from an assessment. And so this was actually really surprising. And the reason why I said that I think it needs to be objective from another point of view is because I thought that my trust level was going to be like a 3 or 4. I did not expect it to be as high as it was. And so obviously it's not a deciding factor. It's definitely a contributing factor. I shouldn't take this assessment as a Bible. But I think that it does have some good insight, and I do typically see the best in others. I am always trying to be as open and honest with communication as I can be. I want others to feel comfortable and secure with me, that no matter what they tell me, I have their best interests at heart and that they can trust me with whatever information. And for personal relationships and for my career as well. And for personal relationships, I always want people to feel like they can confide in me and that I'm going to want what is best for them. And in my career, I want managers and other coworkers and employees to feel like I'm going to be looking out for them, that what they tell me is in confidence. If that's something that they tell me, that's something that's super, super important to me. And on the other side of that, unfortunately, is that I think that other people want that for me, and that's not always the case. So if you have a high trust score, just being very conscientious of that, But for the most part, I think that it's good for people to be trusting. But what about you? How do you feel like you would rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? And maybe even if you can work it into a conversation like this week or today, ask someone if you think if they think that you are a trusting person. And meaning by that if someone were to tell something to you, that they would be comfortable doing it, knowing that you would keep whatever it is, that you mostly want good intentions for people, that people can rely on you. And so kind of determining where you're at, because it is really an important trait to have. If people can't trust you, how are they going to do business with you? How are they going to build friendships with you? Networking is super, super important. And how can you network efficiently and effectively with people if they can't trust you? So that's kind of my thoughts on it for today, and just some food for thought of what do you think your trust score would be on a scale of 1 to 10, and if you're happy with that. And then if not, obviously there is room for improvement. So let me know what you think if you ended up watching 6 minutes of this video, and I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Happy hump day. Make it through the day. Tomorrow is Friday Eve, and yeah, week is almost over. So let's hit those goals, guys.